Good evening. History will be made here in the Crucible Theatre regardless of who makes it through to tomorrow's final in the Betfred World Championship. Because after a marathon session in the first semi-final between Stuart Bingham and Mark Selby, their match is into overtime. It's never happened before. The match did not conclude and finished with Selby on 16 frames to Bingham's 15, the race for the 17 frames finish line. So it means that they will now have to return much later tonight after the conclusion of the other semi-final between Shaun Murphy and Kyron Wilson. So 2 for the price of 1 tonight. Welcome to a Saturday night semi-final session at the Crucible like no other.
I can feel the floor shaking and the glass begin to break. The air is getting thinner with every breath that I take. We calm before the storm, you could hear the drop of a pin. We've crossed every line, broken every boundary. Now it's retribution time, 'cause the church that I went to, it ain't that holy. Strike me down, take me away. Debts are due, it's time to pay. Face what I deserve. Here comes judgment day.
Judgment Day, yes. Judgment Evening, definitely. And we've got 2 former world champions in John Parrott and the current world #1, Judd Trump, with us this evening. Lovely to have you with us, guys. First of all, John, give us your reaction to a quite extraordinary event this afternoon in that Bingham-Selby match.
Never seen anything like it. A bit of history being made. We went over 100 centuries, first time ever, but we also got history that first time ever semi-final's been taken off. Mark Selby went 16-14 ahead. Looked for all the world after a 40 break like he was going to get over the line, but Stuart Bingham has made a clearance from nowhere there. Brilliant clearance for 16-15. We ran out of time. Simple as.
Judd, the clock was against them for the last couple of frames. They knew they weren't going to be able to start another one. What did we learn about Stuart Bingham with that clearance of 85?
Yeah, I think you've seen it in his first game of the tournament as well. He's just prepared to dig in and he's enjoying himself so much in this tournament, and he seems to thrive under the pressure, and that red to get in the last frame was absolutely incredible.
Well, they've got a long wait, John, and explain the process of the wait and being called again. What will it be like in this context for
Absolutely horrible for both players. They won't know when it's going to finish, obviously. You'll be in the hotel waiting for a phone call, giving you some indication of when you're coming back. You can't really relax as well. And they'll be hoping that Judd Trump isn't right, because Judd Trump today said the semi-final now, tonight, is going to go to, on a black ball fight, 17-16. So they won't, that won't be happening as well.
It's you, is it? Okay. Well, we definitely know, Judd, that the first man through, we think, anyway, is going to be either Kyron Wilson, who was the runner-up in this arena here last year, or the 2005 champion, Shaun Murphy. And already this match has had more twists and turns than a Jed Mercurio script.
Thank you, frame 17.
Oh, good shot.
Oh, beautiful shot. That'll button up this first frame of the morning.
It wasn't on. Looking at that picture, he just couldn't see enough of it.
Oh, that's a fabulous pot, that is. Great shot.
Well played, Shaun.
Huge moment in the match, this. Massive.
Is he having a go at this?
Wow, Shaun Murphy waved his magic wand there and knocked in an incredible black. He's only 2 behind. It's 11 to Kyron Wilson. It's 9 to Shaun Murphy.
Wow, what a positive shot that was. And he's back 3 in front, 12-9.
Miss precious little at close range. Oh, it doesn't get better than that.
Murphy's on the march.
Sean Murphy then takes advantage of Karen's mistake, and he's right in this match. Take all you get out there. Ooh.
So Sean Murphy, all of a sudden, he's just one frame behind.
What a pot. Sean Murphy, the comeback is complete. What an evening session we have in store.
Yes, what an evening session we've got. Now, only Ken Doherty has managed to turn around a 6-frame deficit in the semi-final and go on to win. That was in 2003 against the late, great Paul Hunter. Now, already half of the job is done for Sean Murphy. And what was your reaction, John, to the emotion that was clearly coming out of the man as he walked out of this arena?
Oh, he was delighted. He's pretty pumped up and he's playing great. There's no doubt about it. But I just wonder whether a little few fist pumps might have been seen by Kyron on the way out.
Yes, I was going to ask you, Judd, do you think that the Wilson team talk has been written as a consequence? Because there was a little glance there at Sean walking out.
Yeah, you don't often see that from Sean either. So I think Sean was very fired up, and Kyron's going to know that there's still a long way to go in this game, and I just think that's going to spur him on for tonight.
It's been a brilliant comeback by the Magician in a match in which Kyron Wilson has played equally brilliantly too. How do you call this? What will be the decisive forces within it, do you think, John?
I think Sean Murphy's just got to keep scoring and look like he's going to score as well. Get that stomp on round the table, get the balls open and keep scoring heavily.
Well, we'll soon find out. It is already a semi-final judgment day to remember. Strong coffee all round here tonight, I can tell you. Maybe something stronger at home for you? Who knows? Because long hauls don't come more exciting than this. And we're going to get things moving very shortly. But, Judd, a final word about this match. How do you see this one going?
For me, I think it's going to go the whole distance. I think it's going to be a close one. Either player's not giving up anything, and we're going to see a real battle out here tonight. OK,
I think we can absolutely guarantee that. Shall we get things moving tonight? Yes, I think so. MC Rob Walker, it's all yours.
Thank you. What an incredible semi-final Saturday this is turning out to be here at the Crucible. And this evening's two players both believe they belong on the biggest stage of all. Tonight, then, is the very essence of live sport. Who has the nerve and who has the heart to seal a place in this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship final? Please welcome a player who from 10-4 down produced a Herculean effort to level at 12-all. This would surely rank as one of his all-time great comebacks. 5 frames away from a 4th world final. Here comes the Magician, Sean Murphy. And his opponent, who showed all his class and composure to beat Robertson in the quarters last year. He needed nerves of steel to come through that epic decider in the semi-finals, and he'll draw on all the memories of that experience tonight. He will be fired up for this evening, because he is the warrior, Kyron Wilson.
Wow, isn't it great to hear the Crucible roar once again? So it's 12-all, and a best of 33 frames match has now become a best of 9 tonight. John Virgo, Stephen Hendry, what a night.
Good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody. Yes, if you like your snooker, if you like your live sport, Well, sit down, relax, and what's going to happen, I don't know. But I can assure you one thing, it's going to be thrilling. Kyron Wilson just getting his cloth ready. Got his drink ready. Touch of the arms. 3 sessions they've had of this match already. And nothing between them.
25, Sean Murphy to break.
Well, Stephen, what a night we're in for.
Yeah, incredible. 2 semi-finals still to be decided. But let's concentrate on this match first. And it's going to be interesting to see if Sean can keep that momentum up. So often when you come back from away behind, you get level, then you kind of switch off a wee bit. Not deliberately, but you almost think the hard work's been done. So, fresh match tonight.
Thumping opening red there from Kyron. Right in the heart of the pocket. The ones who have been hitting on the practice table. Good to see him going on the main arena. So he's on the green. I don't think he's got the angle he can get close to his next red. Well, he might be able to pinch a bit and run past the middle pocket. Well, decided to make certain of the green. Didn't want to play it with too much pace. He's got a red to the left corner.
4.
Black at the moment, out of commission. Thinking about the cannon, is he? To bring the black into play.
I think it's worth a try. I mean, pretty much full ball cannon on the red that's to the left of the black will push the black on and off the cushion. And hopefully, for Kyron's sake, leave the black onto the right corner. I think if it had played the cannon, it was more chance of getting the pot, because the stun, I think, makes the pot a little bit easier.
No harm done. He's not left anything that will tempt Sean. But after the good opening red, Kyron will be disappointed to have missed that one. Both on 92% pot success. That's good enough to win any match. Beautiful length on the safety. But he's not covered the path back to baulk down the right hand side of the table, so this line of red's just below the pink. Got to catch it just right though, don't hurt it too thick. Good reply.
It was interesting backstage in the practice room before the match. Sean Murphy was quite willing to walk around and chat to people, have a laugh, look very relaxed, but Kyron Wilson was in the zone with his brother, just going through the motions, doing what had to be done to get ready for this final session. This time he hasn't got away with a missed red. Not the best table. You can see the pink and black are out of commission, but should be able to bring the cue ball back up to baulk for yellow, brown or blue.
Yeah, it was one of those. Karen played that red. He thought, well, the only red I can leave is the one I'm playing. And wouldn't you know it, rattle the jaws, went over the other pocket. Nice easy starter for Sean.
One.
Well, that was aggressive.
Yeah, it was. Hitting the bottom of the bunch was, you'd think he's never going to be in a colour. He needed to sort of get the gap and get closer to the pink with the cue ball. But certainly didn't hold back.
Yeah, maybe a sign of intent from Sean tonight. He's going to play an aggressive game.
Sean Murphy, 1.
Not certain about that shot. This red does pot to the middle. It's a lot more difficult than it maybe looks on your screen. You don't really get to see the acute angle, but I'm surprised he's left him any chance of a pot. Deemed the pot too dangerous. It wasn't the best of safeties, but the pink has come to his rescue for this red to the right corner. At one time in this match, he led by 10 frames to 4. So he's got those bad thoughts in his mind, but the one thing you can say about Kyron, he's very strong-willed. You'd have to be to lose a lead like that and still carry on as normal. So I would suggest that this opening frame, very important for him, maybe more important for him than Sean. Well, he thought there was a gap to flicker red thin, but he missed the red he intended, hit the wrong red. Sean Murphy with another chance.
Came round to have a look to see if the pink goes to the green pocket past that red. If not, he'll play for yellow first, then that red that's closest to the green pocket.
1.
Then well, it needs a cue ball to pull up, which it has. Has it? Yeah, looking at the body language, he's on it. So it doesn't look like the pink will go in its own spot. So I was going to suggest yellow, red, then pink in left middle. Suppose the pink going in the blue spot wouldn't be the worst result. Well, I'd like to have got the cue ball a little bit away from the side cushion there.
3.
The reason I say that is because the cue ball close to the cushion, it just stops you Stops your options, really, what you can do with the cue ball. Less control over it.
Four.
Managed to leave himself a nice angle on the green, but the problem is there's reds available, but the only covers are all in the baulk end of the table. So this cue ball is going to have to keep travelling up and down, unless at some time he can get the black into play.
7.
Yeah, and in putting the green, the pink still doesn't go to that pocket. That was a
8.
wonderful bit of cueing. It really was.
Yeah, and when he was on the yellow, I had a quick look. I think the pink passes the brown. And as you were discussing before, it'd be nice to have the pink. Well, he'll go on his own spot now, I think. Nice to have a high-value colour near the reds. Once again, good cueing needed, but getting the pink at this end of the table, I feel, is imperative.
Pink ball. $40. $15.
Well, there's a lot of talk in the game about who's the best out of these two or the rest. They're both recognised as two of the best in the game of snooker. In this match and in the tournament, Kyron's just shading it.
21.
See, there's not a lot in it.
$22.
He's got this break going well, though. Tricky in the beginning.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems to have fell into the pace of the table. And these positional shots were tricky, but he's judging them nicely so far.
$28. $29.
So there you see it. He needs another 25 points. That's 4 more reds.
35.
I can see 3 of them are nicely in the open. But you've got those 2
36.
awkward reds either side of the black. It's doable. When I say doable, I mean that he can get the reds and colours he
42.
requires without playing a cannon.
$43.
So if he keeps good control of the cue ball, he could get to snookers required, without any risk being taken. Now this is the key shot for me. Needs a good angle on the pink. Just looking at those reds either side of the black. Wow. Looks like the left-hand one of the two would go. Don't want to play it now though.
50.
And that's perfect on the pink. Played the cannon, played it well. Did play the cannon, to be sure.
56.
Yeah, and this was a very important frame for Sean Murphy to
57.
keep that momentum going from this morning's session. Coming from 5 frames behind, winning the session 6-2 to come out of it level. Very important to keep that going, to keep the pressure on Kyron Wilson. Well, I mentioned how relaxed he was backstage,
63.
but he's been all business when he's got on this match table.
$70. 71.
Well, another tricky pot. No
70.
hesitation. I know the frame's over, but it's still a good sign when you're potting the balls and they're not touching the sides. This is tricky. Oh, wow, what a pity.
Sean Murphy,
But Sean
78.
Murphy was the first frame leading. The first time he's been in front in the match since the first frame. He now leads 13 frames to 12.
Well, he's climbed the mountain, guys, and he's won the last 4 frames with 120, 75, 76, 78. He's got the momentum, Judd Trump, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And for a lot of the game, he's just completely just hung on in there, and he's got his rewards there. It's something that you don't really associate with Sean Murphy that much, but this tournament, he just looks like a whole different player to me.
How do you explain it, John? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if Chris Henry's been working with him mentally on stuff as well as his technical stuff. But, you know, when he was sitting in the chair 7-2 and looked pretty forlorn, you didn't see this scoreline coming. It's a remarkable turnaround. I mean, I don't think Kyron's dipped that much in his performance, but Sean's just playing as good as he can.
Yeah, I'm just actually looking at my notes. 4 centuries that Kyron Wilson has made in this match. He's actually played a brilliant match. But the poker face is very reminiscent of Steve Davis and his pomp, and fair play to him. He's keeping his emotions very, very much under control out there so far. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's got it all to do now, Kyron. He's under big pressure, and Sean obviously getting in front for the first time in a while. Pressure might just kind of revert a little bit now, and we're going to see the next couple of frames, see how Kyron responds to this.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say he hasn't been under the cosh in the tournament so far. He was 5-1 down his first round match, wasn't he, to Gary Wilson? So he can certainly string a few frames together from behind. So it's a big test for him now, though.
It is, and one thing about Kyron throughout this championship, when he's been within sight of the winning line, he's come on strong. This guy's not out of this match.
Well, I thought Sean may be able to get past the yellow. He obviously can't. If he could, he'd be playing this red to the left corner. Can't see enough of this red to pot it. So it's turned out to be quite a good break-off from Kyron. If he misses the brown, it's a cracking shot, but he didn't. And that's the problem when you're playing those very fine shots. You're just concentrating on not hitting it too thick. You lose the line in the cue ball, hit a ball colour in the face, you're going to leave a chance. This, though, is a real test of cueing. You can't just stun it in because the black doesn't go to the opposite corner. He's having a look to see where the pink will go. As I say, good cueing. Got to play it with pace as well, because he's got to screw back for the colour. Wonderful, wonderful shot.
Yeah, I think what made that shot even better is he had a straightforward safety shot off the right-hand side of the bunch. He could have played to try and get the cue ball in behind the brown, but wasn't interested in the safety. He had the confidence in his long game to commit to that. Beautiful shot. May have lost the cue ball here, though. Sure, he played for the red to the left of the pink. There, the red above the black goes,
6.
but not the red he was playing for. I'm sure of it. Can't avoid the red. That's to the right of the black. So, tough pot and tough position. He tried to just brush off the second red. Half ball of 2 cushions for the black to the same pocket. For the deep screw. Oh, these on the pink. What a result.
7.
It was a result, but every credit to him for playing that very dangerous pot. And he thought by kissing the second red, he had a chance of going up the table. Couldn't have wished for better than this. Trying to drive the cue ball through the reds.
$30.
Did his best. He's got a red to the left middle, but awkward cueing. Good shot and landed perfect on the blue. Perfect angle.
$90. $20.
The last of the easy reds to play on.
27.
There might be just one at the bottom of the cluster which will go into the right corner.
28.
I can only assume it does. Because if he was thinking of carrying into the cluster, he'd have wanted a better angle than this. So there must be a red available. There you see it. Too much screw and not enough stun there.
35.
Yeah, he's flicked a bit of right-hand side on the cue ball. He's not 100% sure what's going to happen with the cue ball here. Trusting a little bit to luck.
Foul.
Well,
Karen Wilson,
that's
35.
unlucky.
Sean Murphy, 4.
And that's the problem. Loose positional shot from the black left him a red that he was running through, as you can see. He got through the other reds, but he didn't know the exact line of the cue ball. And then it went. Good chance. Gone.
Well, the long putting from both players tonight has been incredible so far.
Yeah, and okay, he's wrong side the blue, but I think if he just rolls it in and runs through maybe a foot, he'll have a straight red to the right corner, which will get in position on the black. And as Stephen said, the long potting's been so good. You wouldn't fancy him to miss this, but the only problem he's got...
6.
We'll just have a look from behind the pocket. If it's straight, but he's just off straight, so he's got to judge the stun here to come off the side cushion for the black. Judged it to perfection.
7.
Struck it absolutely beautifully.
Yeah, he's hitting the cue ball with tremendous authority tonight.
He's having a look. He's obviously, you take this red for granted and a nice angle on the black.
50.
He'd certainly had the angle by leaving himself high on it. Not certain about the availability or how many reds are available to the left corner. The two reds to the right of the pink. I think the one furthest down towards
22.
the top cushion goes. You see it does go, but he's nicely on this. And in potting that,
20.
it brings another red into play. He can do this without any cannons. And as you say, Stephen, this isn't with authority, but he's got complete control of the cue
30.
ball, which is essential at this stage of what could be a frame-winning contribution.
Yeah, it's the biggest. This is the biggest test of your technique of your whole game, and to be able to control that cue ball under this pressure is what makes these guys the best in the game.
31.
As soon as we say that, he's lost the cue ball. I don't know whether I can even get the cannon on the red that's just below the pink. You'd have to really nip the cue ball nicely. And he can't go round the table because the red that's up by that left cushion is in the way of playing in and out of bulk for a red to left corner. That's a brilliant shot. That is a brilliant shot. It's the only shot he had to continue the break.
38.
He's flying.
Yeah, as you say, it was the only shot he had, and didn't he play it well? But it's a slightly blind pocket, so you won't take this for granted. But if this goes in, gets nicely on the green, it could be the frame winner. Decided to play for the yellow. Same difference. I think the red that's just below the pink on the left hand side of it does go to the right corner. And now back in perfect position, and both those reds to the right of the pink are available.
41.
Now got a 10-point lead. These three reds with colours would give him the frame.
$42. $49. $50.
And as you saw when he potted that red, the last red does pass the pink. And he's played it absolutely inch perfect.
57. $58.
Good at Kyron Wilson there. He had first chance. I think he was unlucky to going off, but it was a loose positional
64.
shot that caused him to play the risky pot.
66.
This is almost like a new Sean Murphy we're looking at as we see this shot. I said that Kyron had to rely on a little bit of luck for position, but you know, the fist pumps and the
69.
He looks so focused around the table.
Yeah, and I think he's... I think there was a stage in this match where the audience were really giving him a G because they wanted to see a match. And I think he embraced that, and he's embraced it ever since. And it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it, if you've got the audience on your side. I know you never had on your side too many times.
But you've got to have the game to back it up, and that's what he's doing. Trick shots.
84.
What a start from Sean Murphy to this final session. He's taken the first two frames very, very impressively. And now leads Kyron Wilson 14-12.
Oh, he's on a mission, isn't he? He really does look good now, Sean Murphy, the man who has not been to the one-table setup since he was last in what was the third of his finals in 2015. Fully 6-year wait, and he's making the very best of his opportunities. And, John, it was a mistake from Kyron that got the ball metaphorically rolling for him there.
Yeah, he made the mistake running through on the pack and went off. But it's the long red, Judd, isn't it? I mean, what a red this is, knocks in straight afterwards.
He's got one of the best cue actions in the game, and just look how softly he hits that ball to get the reaction on the white. And from then on, he was pretty much picture perfect throughout the whole rest of the break, and he really, really looks up for it.
Judge, you played him obviously in the quarter-final, and you fell to his sword. But what did you notice about him that you perhaps hadn't seen from this man for a long time?
Yeah, he's just got a bit of fire in his belly this season, and it's taken him until this tournament, but there's just a little twinkle in his eye. He's really feeling it out there, and I think he's just trying to play with the crowd a little bit, get them on his side.
I mean, I spoke to him the other day when he came after one of the sessions. He was really pumped up about it all. You know, usually he's very placid, and he's certainly been different this week. What has been different, and we have to say it, is the times he used to get to 30 and 40 and maybe make the odd mistake. It's now, look, 76, 78, 91. He's not making those silly mistakes when he got to 30 or 40. He's actually killing the frames off in one go, and that makes you extremely dangerous.
Total focus, total concentration. Back we go. This is frame 27.
Thank you. Frame 27. Sean Murphy to break.
I thought that was interesting then, that I'll just wait to see if this red has come over the middle. Well, it has, but it's covered by the brown. And the red to the left corner is covered by the yellow. It's turned out a very decent break, but I was just going to say that referee Brendan Moore was still putting up the balls. He hadn't even respotted the pink, and Sean was out of his chair at the table ready to break off.
It's like the boxer, isn't it, when he's out in the middle of the ring and the other guy's still in his chair. It's almost like he wants to just impose himself on his opponent and on this match.
Well, he's got the rest out. If he tries to go back to balk, he's got to be careful here. That red is on to the right middle. Well, I decided just to roll to the top cushion.
You put the sweet wrappers down,
the
please.
wisest choice. Yeah, well, it clears the black. There's no danger for Sean. Easy peasy this. Just come off the side cushion. Big target, that cluster of reds just below the pink. No problem here. Karen could have played safe last time off the red near the right centre pocket, but I think he just thought it was an opportunity to clear the black spot. Like Sean, I don't think he'll be tempted to go back to the balk end.
A little bit surprised at this shot from Sean. I thought he could have played the red, it's to the right, the blue, up and down. Maybe put the cue ball somewhere near the yellow pocket. Be a more aggressive shot.
Yeah, it's funny sometimes how the scoreline affects your mindset. I think at the start of the evening, first frame, there's no way they allowed this tip-tapping to go on. But now he's got a two-frame advantage. He probably feels that he doesn't have to make the running. Leave it to Kyron to take the risks. Good shot.
Yeah, Sean had the first chance to play the more aggressive safety shot. He didn't, and now he's got a slight problem here. Probably playing off side cushion, top cushion, back up to balk here from this red.
Caught the brown, but not left anything. In fact, cut down the opportunity for Kyron to play safe down the right-hand side of the table. So the red that's, well, closest to the cue ball, well, he's eyeing up the pot. He's going to take it on. close and control the cue ball well. I suppose once it didn't go in and rattled and went towards the cue ball, lucky not to leave anything easy. And of course, as we always say, that's why the World Championship, you'd hope at the end of the 17 days, produces the best player. These long frames, the run of the ball, you'd like to think it evens out. The one red he was very concerned to cover was the one to the right corner. He's done that, but he's not tight to the baulk cushion, and this red is on to the left corner.
One.
Not a tremendous long pot, and he's okay. The cue ball.
Thank you. Brown ball.
Has finished on the brown.
Yeah, you've got to admire Karen Wilson. He was 5 frames in front. He's now 2 frames behind, but it's not stopped the way he's approached to the game. Still playing aggressively, still backing himself with these tremendous long pots. This was just beautiful bit of cueing. Still looks positive round the table.
Six.
Had first chance in the last frame, but didn't make the most of it. Just get the feeling he needs to make the most of this one. Oh,
Kyron Wilson, 6.
Tremendous long red to get in. Counts for nothing now.
First sign of weakness in tonight's session. The last frame, it doesn't count. It was unlucky to going off, but that was an unforced error, I'm afraid.
One.
Sean Murphy will be loving seeing that. Still going to take advantage though.
Yeah, played that in a way that he had a choice of 2 reds. The red he's closest to it, he'd love to have dropped straight on it and he'd have played it. But he always knew he had the one to the left middle. And we know where the colour is.
Well, the red that's closest to the black, if it wasn't there, we know the shot Sean would be playing would be straight into the bunch. He may just play this with a bit of drag, a bit of right hand side, just to play for that red to the same pocket. Yeah, played it well.
40.
Yes, and you know as well as anybody, Stephen, as a player, you know, you're playing those type of shots, just getting the nice little nudges. And when you get the nice nudges, you find good position. You get a nice rhythm going.
50.
That's what all these players look for. If they get perfect position, they can play the next shot without a lot of thinking time. And of course, Sean Murphy, like all these top players, great break builders when they're in and around the black and pink spot area.
$21. $22.
After this red, you can see there's another loose red available, but I always think it's a good time to go into the bunch of reds when you've got one
29.
red that's maybe apart from the rest of the reds. But it looks to be
30.
straight.
Has he got the angle now to... No. He'll have to play for that one open red.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to play for the blue from the open red. Big target. Well, the angle he's now got in the red, he can just brush off the bunch.
37.
Looks to be a little bit too much angle maybe to play the screw shot. Wonderful stuff from Sean Murphy. It really is.
38.
He's getting through the ball so nicely, isn't he?
Very few get through the ball better. He's always been a huge talent. But as was mentioned, concentration was always, I think, a weakness, but he looks so focused tonight.
Well, he's on the red to the right middle, but delicate little positional shot required here. Another 25 points, so 4 more reds and colours needed.
42.
But like with everything, he's making it look so easy.
$48.
Two reds, two blacks would do it. He's just a little bit awkward here. He's got to avoid the red that's closest to the cushion, so just stun it a little bit to avoid it. Well, in the end, decided to play the
49.
more difficult. That's the confidence of the man. That is the confidence that he's come out with here tonight. This is good stuff from Sean Murphy.
56. 57.
So this black and one more red. frame
64.
ball never comes easy. Can Kyron see a bit of hope here? This is missable. But like with everything else, right in the heart of the pocket.
65.
Yeah, that was an important pot. That will keep
71.
Kyron in his seat, you would have thought. Well, if this red, for certain, this red goes in. Wonderful stuff, Stephen.
Yeah, making the game look very easy. And what a way to punish that easy black that Kyron Wilson missed. I've been watching Kyron Wilson's break. He's just been sat there like a statue. He's never moved.
79.
Worrying times for him. He's had control of this semi-final for long periods. But now we've come to the business end of it.
84.
It's Sean Murphy. He's got all the momentum.
85.
Yeah, when they came out tonight, it felt that Sean possibly had the edge because of
90.
the fact that he got back to all square after being so far behind. But then you question, well, he's made the comeback.
92.
Is it going to affect him? He's at the top of his game.
$95. $99.
In goes the blue, absolutely fantastic. His 8th century of this year's Betfred World Championship and the 102nd of the tournament. Absolutely wonderful. The magician weaving a spell.
17 in the frame.
Absolutely tremendous stuff. What can Kyron Wilson do against this? Don't miss blacks off the spot, maybe. Sean Murphy leads 15-12.
6 frames on the spin, and surely Sean Murphy looks for all the world like he's heading into a 4th final here, John. And what can Kyron Wilson do to try and hold back the tide here? Because there's so much momentum with this man, Judd.
Yeah, I mean, when Sean plays like this, you just wonder how he's not winning more at the moment. It just shows to go the standard in the game, but he looks $1 million out there at the moment. And Kyron's under big pressure here. Unless he gets his act together very quick, he's going to be heading home.
Yeah, well, we start to see 1 or 2 errors, and clearly the pressure on Kyron must be enormous now, because starting to see a few mistakes just creep in unnaturally, understandably, under such a barrage.
Well, the trouble is he's getting punished every single time. You know, as I mentioned, those 30 and 40 breaks are now 70. I mean, his last score in 76, 78, 91, 117. I mean, that's going to win you any tournament you're playing. So every time he makes a mistake, it's now magnified.
It is, and now he is surely eyeing a place in a 4th final. There's a long way to go, he'll know that. But having been in 3 before, and I'm not sure the circumstances of his development over the last few days and weeks, guys, but the win against Mark Davis when he was down in that match, and Yan Bingtao was the match that we all thought, wow, this guy's suddenly found something again, wasn't it? I
was very impressed with that one. I can't talk about the next match because Judd will go talk about that one himself. But when he was Yan Bingtao, he played him. I thought, you're hitting the ball properly. And he had a good, you know, he was walking around the table like he owned the place, and he was knocking balls in for fun. His long game was tremendous, and he started scoring really heavily. But there's been a sea change in his attitude, I think, more than anything. He looks like he's really concentrating properly and looks like a complete player.
And possibly the pace round the table, Jab, because what struck us, I think, in that Yan Bingtao match was the speed at which he compiled that 144, which is still the tournament high break. When you played him in that quarter-final, were you aware of the pace at which he was playing as well? Did it strike you?
Yeah, he was just walking around the table like he was supposed to be there, and he was just kind of dominating me at the moment. He just felt like he owned the table at one point, and it's intimidating to see when you're sat there, like Kyron has been in the last 3 or 4 frames. He just feels like Sean's not going to miss at the moment, and Sean has just got that little glinter in his eye, and he looks so comfortable out there at the moment.
Well, of course, Kyron's not been playing badly himself. 91% pot success, and he's made 4 centuries in this match as well. But if you're his brother, Taylor, in his corner, or anyone else in his corner, what sort of words of advice could you be giving him at this moment in order to come back out and face this whirlwind?
There's not really much you can say other than just keep doing your stuff. Unfortunately for him at the moment, he's just on the end of somebody playing at the peak performance. I mean, this is the nature of the game. If someone's got the cue ball, there's very little you can do about it. At the moment, Sean Murphy's knocking everything in. His break building is fantastic. He's striking the ball brilliantly, and it's very intimidating.
And one thing that we've already mentioned is the crowd. This guy's an entertainer. Kyron's out there, and he's got the momentum of Sean Murphy, but Sean is a performer. He loves feeding off the crowd, and at the moment, Judd, they seem to be feeding off him too.
I think Sean made a conscious decision when he was losing this game to try and get the crowd involved and behind him, and that fist pump just got them riled up, and he's just used that to his advantage in this game.
He's 2 frames away now.
So Kyron breaks off. There'll be a mid-session interval after this frame. He needs it badly. And there's the pot success this session. Sean Murphy, 99% pot success, 75% for Kyron Wilson. Big, big difference. And that's why we've got the scoreline we have at the moment. Terrific pot. Needs to slow up. Needs to stop this side of the ball line.
1.
Well, maybe it's just run far enough to leave him a chance of the yellow. He's having a close look. I don't think it's perfect. Well, it's very straight. But he can get down to odds the next red. But every visit, there's the utmost pressure on Kyron Wilson. He cannot afford now any more mistakes. Sees a pot, goes for it, got to get it.
Well, I presume he's going to be screwing the cue ball back for a baulk colour off this red. Having seen what your opponent's just done in the first 3 frames, oh boy, there's pressure on every pot now for Kyron Wilson. Well, I've got to give him credit for fully committing, playing for the blue, but that was the risk.
So a gift of a chance. Kyron's given Sean. And from what we've seen so far this evening, Stephen, it's hard to see him not making the most of it.
8.
No, but I mean, we all know getting to that winning line, reaching a World Championship final,
9.
you've got to be able to hold yourself together, and you can start, you don't want to start seeing the winning line too early, taking it for granted. And straight away there's a little pause to play the next shot. Well, I thought, reading the body language, I thought he finished straight in the black, so maybe he just needed to settle himself.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself. Mainly, that's what Stephen's saying. And he did that in another important frame in the last session, Sean. He was perfect, but he just took that few extra seconds just to make certain that he was calm and everything was under control.
17.
Look at that for a view. Oh, it's good to be back. Well, that could have worked out better.
24.
Took the risk going into the cluster. If he'd had it over, he'd just hit it with a bit more pace, but I don't think that was the red he was intending to hit. But he's still got the one to the left middle. But close together, they're tricky, these. Well, even though he's got a 3-frame advantage, that just takes him, in this match, total points scored, just 3 points ahead of Kyron. I think that's down to the 4 centuries that Kyron made early on in the match.
I think there's a bit of angle in this red to right corner. Yeah, you see, so he's going to have to go on and off the cushion.
31.
Good thinking, playing for the pink, because in potting this pink it clears a red to right corner.
Well, every shot's just coming alike, a little soft stun like that. It's easy to decelerate and catch it too thin, but in complete control of the cue ball, his cue
37.
action.
$38.
I think if the pink was square on with the reds, he may play a cannon here, but it'd be a little bit risky. Pink just at a slight angle. 40 points to the lead.
43.
So he's looking for another 25 points. 4 more reds.
44.
Playing for the pink, and automatically in potting the pink, he'll be able to bring reds into play. He's looking for another 3 reds after this pink.
I think this is the best 4 frames I've ever seen Sean Murphy play. Every shot has been the right one. As I say, that last medium range red he played, it would have been easy just to drop on the black and hope for an angle going to the reds, but he played the right shot. He played for pink, which he knew was going to clear another red.
51.
As I say, he's always had that kind of like unforced error in him, that maybe lapse in concentration, a positional shot or an easy pot missed, but It doesn't look like happening. Every ball he hits is hitting leather.
54.
Yeah, and it'll be music to his ears, the fact that they're going right in the heart of the pocket. Playing the run round, run
55.
through. Once again, absolutely inch perfect. Well, he's found his form, his best form, and what a time to find it. And he only needs this
62.
red now to go 60 ahead. With just 59 remaining.
63.
It's becoming a bit of an onslaught.
Well, Karen Wilson's basically missed a couple of pots.
$70. $71.
Still at 99% pot success, Sean Murphy, this evening. At the moment,
77.
he's looking unplayable. You make one mistake and he wins the frame. It's a cruel game sometimes. Well, the red hasn't gone in,
Sean
but it
Murphy,
won't matter to Sean
77.
Murphy.
And the
He's
frame.
had the perfect start. They've had 4 frames. He's won all 4. And he's now 1 frame away from a place in the final. As they go to the mid-session interval, he leads Kyron Wilson 16 frames to 12.
He looks unstoppable, doesn't he? Is there any way back for Kyron Wilson, Judd Trump?
Not from what we've just seen. Sean Murphy is peaking at the perfect time. He struggled at the start of this game, but I haven't seen him play this well for a long time.
Yeah, have you ever seen him play with such focus as he's showing tonight?
No, I don't think I've ever seen him do, because generally, as Stephen said, and I've been saying for a while, there's usually a glitch in the computer. There's the odd mistake here and there, even when he hits it great. I mean, the Masters final when he beat Neil Robertson was brilliant. That was probably as near to it, but this is as good as I've seen him play. It's pretty much flawless.
Well, it's interesting because obviously there was a certain Welsh Open final last year in which he beat Kyron Wilson 9-1, and that was a peak performance as well. I'm not sure whether that may have added fuel to the fire of the task today. What do you think?
Yeah, he just seems so fired up, and even when he went behind, he still had that belief in himself and just that fist pump to nick that crucial frame to go back within a couple. He's really, really up for this, and he looks so good out there, so calm.
And finally, I think we've talked about his brother. This is Kyron's brother, obviously, Taylor, in his corner tonight. Is there anything that you can do in this situation that would inspire any sort of comeback, any form of resistance at this point?
At the moment, what could you do? He's just doing his normal stuff. He's missed 1 or 2 balls. He's just getting severe punishment from someone playing the absolute best that they can play. And in snooker, it's the funny thing. When someone's got the cue ball, you just sit and watch.
OK, well, I'm sure Chris Henry in Sean Murphy's corner is very delighted with his work so far, because he's just 1 away from a place in a 4th final here at the Crucible. Now, we've seen both of these guys, expert magicians, if you like, with the rest. In fact, I'm just looking at their rest success tonight. 89% for Kyron, 85% for Sean Murphy. Ken Doherty and Jack Lazowski up in the Winter Gardens. Can you match that, guys?
Listen, it's been 100% from Jack rest pot success so far in the Winter Gardens, but it was off camera. But we saw Kyron Wilson and, of course, Sean Murphy. But Kyron Wilson in particular, he's using the extended spider in a very unusual way to sort of help him bridge over balls. Now, I didn't know that this was possible. I don't know about you, Jack.
I didn't know either. I've never actually seen it, but it's a really good idea. And so we set this up.
Yeah. So we've set it up. Now, what Kyron is doing, he's using the extended spider to actually help his bridge over the balls. Yeah.
So basically, this shot, I mean, Kyron's got pretty creative here, and he couldn't sort of bridge like that and hit the white comfortably, so he's got this spider thing out, and he's.
So he's put his palm on.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what he's done. He's done something like that.
And he's trying
it's a lot more stable because obviously you can't touch the balls with your hand. Oh no. Anyway. It felt better.
And he didn't do that.
Yeah, he didn't do
okay.
that, but it felt better.
Yeah, but it was very ingenious way of doing it. Okay, now a lot of people would send in a lot of questions about the rest and how to use the rest, because these two guys, both Karen Wilson and Sean Murphy, are the greatest protagonists of the rest in the game. So a lot of questions of how to use the rest. So Jack is going to show us how to use the rest, what to do and what to not to do.
Okay, Ken. Well, I'm not the best rest player, but I'll tell you what I'm trying to think. So
okay.
I see Sean has got his elbow. This is what the rule book says. Isn't it? So you're meant to get your elbow parallel.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable like that, so I actually dropped mine down a little bit.
Okay.
I'm concentrating on just trying to get my feathers nice and tight to the white.
Yeah.
It's easy to just feather too far away.
Okay.
And I've found recently I'm trying to not dip.
Keep it nice and straight.
Just try and not sort of hit down on the white. Just trying to keep it all flat, keep my grip nice and loose.
Okay. And do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, well, a lot of players keep the rest on the table with the hand. You like to hold it.
I don't know what I do. I'm not very good. I mean, what do you do?
Okay, we'll have another go. What about keeping the rest down, right? Keep the rest on the table.
Yeah.
And also, hold on, we'll move the white up a little bit.
I'll make it a little bit easier.
So then you don't have you have the rest on the table, so it's nice and flat.
Okay, like that?
Okay, yeah. Now try and keep this elbow up a little bit, right?
Okay.
Even if it feels uncomfortable, a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, go.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, well, you can tell that they're the best protagonists with the rest, but certainly in the Winter Garden, we are not.
Well, at least you can laugh about it, guys. Well played. John, how is he normally with the rest?
Terrible. I've never actually seen him pot one with the rest, so Ken's got his work cut out there.
OK, we'll leave them to it, shall we? And we'll reflect on events last year, actually, because just when we didn't think the semi-finals could get any more dramatic, we've got an unusual situation here this evening. As you may know, we're going to be finishing off both semi-finals this evening. But last year, both of the semi-finals went the full distance on Judgment Day. And one of them was hailed afterwards as possibly the greatest ever semi-final in Crucible history. So where were you when Karen Wilson met Anthony McGill?
Welcome to semi-finals day. There's something very special when you get to the one table at the Crucible Theatre.
It's exciting. It's the semi-finals, one table setup. It's what we all dream of doing. For me, it was obviously very tense, just full of high emotions on both parts. You know, me and Anthony, what we went through, it was just epic.
Karen Wilson will feel now that he can't make a mistake with McGill in this form.
At 16-15 behind, obviously, you know, Anthony's on the hill. He needs one frame to reach the final.
Oh, it's a huge pot from Karen Wilson.
I just had to kind of change my mindset a little bit.
It is edge of the seat drama at the Crucible Theatre. They've gone head to head all match, all afternoon, and they will head now into a deciding frame.
Kind of said to Anthony, you know, I'm not going away.
It has come to this. A first place in a Crucible final, down to one frame, down maybe to one mistake.
Oh, what didn't go on? I think everything went on in that deciding frame. He kicked it off. I think he was on around about 30 or 40 points on a break and went into the pack off the black, I believe. And, you know, that's probably sort of the first sign of maybe it was just written in the stars for me to get through.
One. Wow, that's not how he intended it.
Yeah, you just feel like your arm doesn't belong to you. You literally feel like you want to hand the cue to the ref and say, go on, you have a go, because I'm struggling here.
a moment.
Karen Wilson.
What a
40%.
moment.
Wow. It just shows you that you miss anything. He can't believe it. He's in shock.
Foul.
The cue ball is in.
Karen Wilson.
Played a good shot here, Anthony McGill. He had to stun the cue ball off the cushion to square the angle up. That wasn't a natural angle to hit the red. If he's played that behind the yellow, that's a brilliant shot.
I played an unbelievable snooker on the red, sort of covering behind the yellow near the middle pocket, and Anthony's missed it numerous times.
Well, I thought he could give away a few points, but I didn't expect this many.
Wow. It's the drama to end all drama. It's a nightmare for McGill.
Well, if Karen Wilson played the shot behind the yellow, what a shot it's turned out to be. This would be a sad way for such a brilliant match to end. He went all the way to needing a snooker. Black's in this time.
Foul. And the miss. Karen Wilson 7. Back.
Is that one more miss? He needs a snooker?
Yeah.
Horrible way this would be. Listen, I don't want to watch. This is horrible.
He's got one chance to get it right.
Go on, hit the red. Wow.
Foul.
What a way.
Karen Wilson 4.
Okay, he's not lost yet, but that's just horrible, is all I can say.
That was looking like the sort of match winner, and you know, at that point I'm thinking I've played a good shot there, I've earned my victory, and yeah, I've got 1 foot in the final.
He's trying to play the same shot. Has he gone in off? He has!
Foul. Anthony McGill 4.
Did I say just when you thought you'd seen it all?
Sort of out of the blue, I've double kissed the red and gone into the middle. So, you know, 1 minute I'm thinking I'm in the final, the next I'm thinking, oh my God, it's just been taken away from me.
It needs the travel for him. The difference is 34. There are 35 points remaining.
Foul.
Someone later on tonight, like, if I hadn't seen this and was telling me what happened, I said, no, you just no way that's happened. 5 minutes ago, Karen Wilson must have been just over the moon thinking, I'm in the final, I've just got to be careful here, and I'm in the final. Now he's under pressure. And there you go. Those snooker gods, whoever they are. They're not down there.
Reaching out for a place in the final. Has he judged it? Has he judged it?
Because the red wasn't hanging over the pocket, it wasn't guaranteed to go in. But when you see it make contact.
McGill's turn. His shot at glory. Has he judged it right? He hasn't.
Foul. And a miss.
Little trace of right hand side. Too much.
Foul. And a miss. Anthony McGill 4.
this is up there with the great matches here.
Looks good.
Oh, what a shot.
One. People watching back home, I think, seeing what me and Anthony went through, it just made them realise, you know, how important it is to us and how the Crucible Theatre can affect you in funny ways. I've never anticipated the green going anywhere near the corner bag.
He's interested here. Where's this
Please
green
tell
heading?
me. Please tell me he's not fluked it. Please tell me he's not fluked it. It's horrific.
And he looks emotional with the fact of what he's just done. He said sorry to Anthony McGill.
Yeah, he just dribbled in, and yeah, obviously not a nice way to end that match.
If you are just joining us, it is, as the saying goes, great drama from the BBC. Kyron Wilson tries to end it here, and that pink takes him into the final.
Kyron Wilson. I'm getting quite renowned for the waterworks after matches. It just shows that, you know, how much I want it and how much I've sacrificed to get to where I am. I've dreamt of this moment. I didn't want to get there like this. When I look back on it, you know, I'll go down in history for, you know, winning probably one of the most amazing semi-finals ever here.
Oh, who could forget that drama last year? And of course, Kyron involved in tonight's semi-final once again. And once that has been concluded, that match between Kyron and Sean, we will then be finishing off this match, because look at the situation here. Mark Selby on the brink, 16-15. And let me just reiterate what happened there. They didn't have time to finish this match because of the strict COVID rules in place here. There has to be sufficient time between sessions to clean the auditorium before the next audience is allowed in. And that's why there was a very, very strict time frame for that match to take place. And it did look, guys, that Mark Selby was going to stride across the line before a wonderful intervention from Stuart Bingham. Can you just describe how much courage that contribution took, Judd?
Yeah, I mean, Mark Selby just dominated that session and kind of slowed it down and took control, but it just shows the courage, determination Stuart Bingham's got to make that clearance under that kind of pressure, knowing that if you miss, you're going home, is incredible.
85, it was one of the best breaks of his life, I would imagine.
Oh, I mean, it was like that as well afterwards. He knocked the long red in. He was never like more than 6 inches or a foot away from every ball. I mean, it was just like he was in practice. Brilliant contribution. But you have to say as well, because we were in commentary together, the 26 frame had 2 re-racks in the middle of it.
Yeah.
One of them after 30 minutes of play. So that's obviously taken time away from the frames they could finish.
And now they're on the clock again because they're waiting for the conclusion of this match. And what do you imagine they'll be doing? Because I guess I say imagine, this has never happened before in the semi-final stage of the Crucible. It's an extraordinary day, John.
Yeah, it's quite a strange thing to happen, but I think Stuart Bingham's already experienced that in this tournament. I think he got pulled off, so...
Yeah, Ding Junhui, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he might feel that this is sort of a good omen for him.
Comfortable, perhaps, you never know. But here we go. We're going to be into the last part of this semi-final. One of these guys is going to be the first into tomorrow's Crucible 21 final. And right now, it's looking very definitely as though Sean Murphy is the man with the momentum. He's 1 frame away, 16 frames to 12 up against Kyron Wilson. And he's playing like a man possessed out there. He really is in peak form, peak condition. 1 more to come. Will it come now? Back to Stephen Hendry and John Virgo we go.
Thank you, Hazel. That is the question. And the atmosphere, as you can imagine, is absolutely electric.
Thank you, frame
But
29.
Sean Murphy, so far, has just loved every minute of
Settle
it.
down then, please. Thank you. Sean Murphy to break.
Now the big question is, what has Kyron got left? We call him, his nickname is the Warrior. He's going to need all those attributes now if he can get himself out of this hole.
Yeah, I always think when the player gets to needing one frame for victory, if they don't win the match in the very next frame, then just a tiny little bit of doubt may creep in.
I think it's covered by the yellow. Well, is it covered by the yellow? Yes. He can hit the red, but can't pot it. Just looking at that long pot from Kyron that was missed. Sean Murphy's long pot success this evening is at 100%. How can you keep it safe when someone's potting like that? The red just below the pink is just an edge sticking out that Sean can play safe off. Once again, caught a bought colour, which will annoy him slightly. Do you think the yellow will be the target? This safety shot from Kyron. We said it in the last frame, and it's more so in this. Cannot afford any more mistakes of any kind. Well, deciding to go around the other side and use the green as the blocker. Got it. Decent safety. Worth a ripple, but not putting Sean under any pressure here.
Yeah, last night in the other semi-final, Stuart Bingham came out, won the first two frames in tremendous style, and then Mark Selby kind of, well, did what he does. Next frame was 62 minutes. I'm not sure whether Kyron is that sort of player. Be able to completely shut this game down like Selby can.
Yeah, I think the phrase you're probably looking for is dropped anchor. That's what Mark Selby did, and that's what Mark Selby does. But has Kyron got that type of experience to be able to dig himself out of this hole playing that way? I don't think so. Just a little bit thick. But if the cue ball finds the side cushion, not much left for Sean to go at. A loose one, got it much too thin. Saved by the blue. Well, he found his way back to ball, but he's not got the best of lengths with the cue ball. And this red is potable to the right corner. The only downside, as far as Sean is concerned, and the fact that he may not play it, is it's hard to see how he could pot the red and get on a colour So he's come down this end to see if he can play a containing safety. Just nestle the cue ball on the top cushion. That's the choice. In the position he's in, as I said a couple of frames ago, it's up to his opponent now to take the risks. Just think the blue is covering the... Well, he's having a look again, so maybe from behind the shot he thinks he can just pot this. No, he couldn't pot it, but he didn't want to leave it there, so that was an excellent shot. Overcut it purposely, they'd certainly got that line. Cue ball back to the baulk cushion. Excellent shot from Kyron. Snookered Sean on all reds. Playing the two cushion escape with pace, trying to flick one of these reds, no thicker than quarter ball. Missed it.
Foul. The miss. Karen Wilson 6. Yes, please.
The last thing the referee wanted to hear.
This one, yeah?
Any good at jigsaws?
The pink is about the ball that way. No, the other way, yeah. Go, keep going, keep going, keep going. Half the ball more, yeah. Stop. And now it's about half a ball towards the blue. Keep going, keep going. Keep
That's
going
where
with the
they
pink.
were.
More, about quarter ball more.
And where are they now?
Bit more. Touch more even. Yeah, stop. And that red is, yeah, about, yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah, looks good to me. Well done, Jan.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Jan Verhaas doing the guiding.
I'm sure that's right. Just with the pink. How did I hit the pink?
No, I think it's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's how it looks on there. Is that how it look? The pink, Jan? Or you think it might be a fraction more out?
Well, I'm not sure how I hit it.
The pink is bang on. The red is a little bit further from the pink, but the pink is bang on my screen.
Okay,
You're saying the pink's bang on, so...
The red is a little bit further towards you.
But the pink is bang on,
I beg
yeah?
your pardon, the red
The
is
other
actually
way.
closer to the pink, sorry. Yeah, that looks bang on to me.
You're saying it's bang on the screen, okay?
Bang on. Same shot, two cushion escape with pace. You always there on the side of missing them rather than miss them too thick. Oh, played it well with a nice little kiss on the yellow. He's not doing a lot wrong tonight, isn't Sean Murphy? With every aspect of the game. He must be in a real good place. This is a good shot, good line, good length.
Got an answer for everything, hasn't he?
For everything. He must be on cloud 9 at the moment. And Kyron must be wondering what he's going to do to force an error. And Kyron with the problem now. Snookered on all reds. And all Kyron can do in this situation, and I know it's the old adage, but just play one frame at a time and see where it gets you. And the black comes into play here, does it?
Foul, the miss. Sean Murphy set.
Now this black is important, it gets in the right place.
For the black.
Bang on.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm going to say the cue ball was blocked by the green to hit any reds.
Yeah, Joe, thank you. Thanks, yeah.
Same shot. Just a minor adjustment. Near to the black again. Oh, wow.
Foul, a miss.
Bit of deja
Sean Murphy
vu.
set.
He was a snooker in this match in one of the frames and gave 54 points away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was incredible,
Just
wasn't
check
it?
it again, yeah, please.
And that was a similar situation. The black was adjacent to the
3-0
red
that.
he was trying to hit. And he hit the black
Yeah,
on
bang
no
on.
fewer than 7 occasions, which made up 49 of the fouls.
Okay, Sean, thank you.
Try number 3. Judged it well that time, but as he left the pot on. As he left the pot on. You'd have to say no, because I think if there was a pot on, Sean would have played it by now. In complete control now of this tactical battle. You just feel that Kyron needs to get the first chance in this frame.
Sean
Too thick,
Murphy
but better in the pocket than not in it. If it rattled the jaws, stayed at this end, he could have well left an easy pot on for Sean.
Yeah, but Kyron is following one bad shot with another at the moment. Got to be careful, doesn't push any reds towards this left corner pocket. He has done. No cover.
Yeah, and the fact that the cue ball's just bounced that little bit off the baulk cushion means that Sean can get below centre on the cue ball and manoeuvre it if he feels he needs to. Makes it so much easier. See, just striking down. And it goes. He's knocked a red over the right corner, so needs to be on a colour. He's on the green.
Now, he can play for the pink to left middle. And it looks to me, I'm not sure whether the pink spot is covered. If so, it goes in the black spot, which wouldn't be the worst result. Controlled that nicely. He'd have liked another few rolls and left himself a little straighter on this pink, but as Stephen said, if this pink, if potted, goes on the black spot, that will really suit Sean. Right in the heart of the pocket. Now, where does the pink go? Well, that suits Sean Murphy down to the ground. The chance is there now. Make the most of this visit. He's in the final. Well, you've got to feel for Kyron. He was playing so well in that first session. Made 3 centuries. But Sean, give him credit, Stephen, found some belief from somewhere. Well, what he did do, he probably got the most out of every session. Even, 6-2, winning the 2 frames was important. Winning the last 2 frames, obviously, when he was 10-4 behind, was hugely important. We've seen the fist pumps after getting to 10-6. And then obviously this morning's session, winning that 6-2. Well, that just gave him the momentum. And that's been the springboard for this performance tonight.
Pink will go back on its own spot after it's potted now. But his cue ball control in and around this area has been exemplary.
30.
So what's required? Another 33. So that's 5 more reds.
$31. $37. $38.
$56
44.
ahead. 91 still left. Just gets a little bit more difficult now. He's got an nice easy red, pink to follow.
$45.
The red just above the black will definitely go into the right corner. The angle on the pink, you'd think he'd play for that. And ever closer to the winning line.
$51.
Looks pretty straight on this red. So probably leave the pink to right middle. Hopefully have a bit of an angle to be able to just nudge
52.
one of these 4 reds. It looks pretty straight to me. Pink might be end of break. Healthy lead.
Yep, can't do anything with that pink. You just feel it's got to be 6 points, so Kyron, you would think, will come back to the table. But you think a long way behind, and with Sean being so close to the reds, you'd expect him to find the baulk cushion with the safety.
58. Sean Murphy, 58.
So 70 points the lead, 75 remaining. Kyron Wilson's chances of getting to a second consecutive world final hanging by the thinnest of threads.
Yeah, the red it's on its own is potable, but it doesn't really want to pot it unless you can get a high value colour from it. Needs the good cue ball. As we've mentioned, 100% long pot success tonight. Can he find another one to get himself into the final?
Slightly hampered by the yellow, but this is frame and match ball. Unbelievable. The standard that was produced tonight is unbelievable. I don't think anybody could have coped with the form that Sean Murphy's been in this evening.
Unplayable tonight.
Sean Murphy won.
I couldn't agree more. And you've got to give him every credit. The way he dug in when he was behind, playing catch-up, it seemed every session until that third one, the vital one, that got him level coming into this evening. And of course, this evening has just been quality from start to finish. He's going to take some stopping if he produces his form in the final. Okay, he's not there yet. I'm certain Kyren won't give in without a real battle. But needing a snooker to tie, it's a big ask. Was he playing a plant double? A plant double for the match.
One. But it's your night, it's your night.
Well, that's it. And I think Kyren is going to come up and congratulate Sean and say best of luck in the final. You can only sit back and admire as an opponent. Kyren was on the wrong end there of Sean Murphy at his absolute best. And it's Sean the Magician Murphy who strides forward to the final of the Betfred World Snooker Championship. What a performance! And the crowd giving him a standing ovation as well he deserves. He started 12-all this evening, he's won all 5 frames, and he's through to the final, 17-12.
It's only the second time it's ever been done in history that a player has recovered from a 6-frame deficit in the semi-final to go on and win. Ken Doherty did it in 2003, and Sean Murphy in an absolutely inspired performance today, you've got to say, Judd and John.
Brilliant. Right from start to finish, from 12-all. Absolutely incredible performances. Every time he got a chance, he made a frame-winning break, with the exception of the last one, even 58, but that put him right in, you know, for winning the last frame, but 70-70, 90, 117. Brutal scoring. Absolutely as good as he can play.
Absolutely. 8 frames in a row to win it, Judd. And some of the stats out there, out of this world for Sean tonight.
Yeah, he looked down and out at one point in this match, but for me, that was one of the best sessions I've ever seen in any tournament. But to close out a match at the Crucible, it just must fill him full of confidence.
100% long potting. He was at 99% pot success for much of that final session. It's stats you can only dream of, surely.
It just doesn't get any better than that. It was perfect snooker from start to finish.
Well, we have a gallant loser, a runner-up today, and you got to say that Kyren Wilson is a proven Crucible performer. He will be back. That's his 3rd semi-final in 4 years. A wonderful consistency from the 29-year-old Kyren Wilson. Let's hear his reaction now with Rob Walker.
Kyren, you played so well against Neil Robertson, and you started this match so positively, but Sean just came to the table and blew you away.
Yeah, you know, he's long potting. He was going for shots that a lot of players probably wouldn't even go for, and, you know, just hammering them home. And, you know, when he gets that Rolls-Royce Q action going, he's a hard man to stop.
And I guess at 10-4, you must have been feeling confident, and then he nicked the last 2, didn't he? 10-6, and it's a comfortable lead, but you know there's still a match on your hands.
Yeah, that frame, you know, I was hitting it really well. I had a bit of a dead bounce, I felt, off the bulk cushion, playing the blue and, you know, playing for the red in the opposite middle pocket where I just potted the blue, and just obviously snookered myself on it, played what I thought was a fairly good safety. I nearly got in behind the yellow, which I was aiming for, and Sean's raked in that red that I played on. And like I say, a lot of players probably wouldn't have even gone for that. And, you know, Sean just makes them look easy.
What was your reaction to the demonstrative way he was celebrating at the end of a couple of sessions? He went for some quite big fist pumps. Did that wind you up, or did you just read that as him being emotional at the end of a good moment for him?
You know, I think it looks a bit silly. It's not for me. Sean's got to do what he's got to do to try and get to me, I suppose. You know, I'm not going to say that did. But fair play to him, he's used his experience and, you know, he's a great champion and he's obviously got on a roll, and once he does that, he's very hard to stop.
You're speaking really graciously, and there are positives for you to take from this run. It was a fantastic win, 5 frames in a row against Neil Robertson. Your 3rd semi-final in 4 years. You're knocking on the door, and you will be back to the business end of this championship. Overall, it has been a good season.
Yeah, definitely, but I'm having to hold myself back from throwing the microphone out the window at the minute, but I'm raging. I come here to win the tournament. I didn't come here to get to the semi-finals. You know, I'm always knocking on the door, and I'm trying my best to obviously lift the title, but, you know, I'll be back again next year.
I'm sure you will. You've spoken with real grace. Have a good summer. See you next season. Thanks, Kyron.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
He has indeed yet another semi-final for Kyron Wilson, and I'm sure he'll be back in his quest to win this title, but a quest to win a second title. Sean Murphy. Sean, I don't think any of us have seen you so focused, so pumped with emotion, so consumed by the chase out there. Have you ever played better?
I'd say I'd be struggling to find a time from, you know, so far behind in a match where I've played as well. Certainly tonight came out and no one's more shocked than me. You know, I've had a terrible run here in the last few years and played out in that very arena and made the game look very easy at times and made it look unquestionably the most difficult game in the world. So I think, you know, Judd will back me up. It's, you know, when you're out there, it can be brutal, or it could be the best place in the world.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a chase. Kyron was on a mission. He was 5-1 up. He was 10-4 up. The clearance to go 10-6 yesterday afternoon, the yellow with the rest, one of the shots of your career, surely. And your coach, Chris Henry, who's just behind us, actually, we're talking about that. It seemed almost Ian Poulter-esque at that point. Did it give you hope of what was to come today?
Specifically on that yellow, you know, I stood behind that, and if I pop the yellow and screw down the cushion, it's a much easier shot. Still a difficult shot anyway. But there was a little voice in me that was like a little challenge saying, "Now go play the killer shot, you know, play the big shot." I couldn't believe it went in. It was perfect on the green, and that did kind of seem to change a bit of the momentum of the whole game.
And then it changed today. You came out of the trap, suddenly it was 12-all. At the black ball game, there was a huge amount of emotion. There were the fist pumps, as Rob Walker was saying. And was that a natural letting out of emotion at that point, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, it means so much to all of us. You know, we talk about the players who come here who haven't won and they're chasing it. They're dedicating their whole lives to being out there and lifting that particular trophy. You know, it means everything to us. We play in all these events all over the season. The majors are the biggest events in the game, and this one is the biggest of those. So it means more than anything. And, yeah, listen, you know, the fist pumps... I personally don't have a problem with it. I think we need that in sport. I think it's something that snooker, you know, we don't have that in common with other sports. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I didn't feel I was disrespectful to Kyron in any way. It was celebrating my shots at my time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And Judd, it seemed to fire him up, didn't it? It really seemed to get the blood pumping and create and maintain that momentum for Sean out there, didn't it?
Yeah, I think from just the scoreline as well, how Sean came back, I know how lonely it is to be out there. And just to come back in the way he did, some of the shots he brought, that yellow and that black, it's just going to fire you up. And I think it's important to play to the crowd out there as well. We haven't had crowds in for a year now. And just to have them there behind you, it just picks you up and spurs you on. And you could see that in Sean's performance.
And there was the winning double as well. You celebrated, you just finished off in such style, with such panache here. What a lovely shot.
Well, my friends who I grew up, because obviously Kyron and I grew up in Northants together, obviously a few years apart, but, you know, I'm known as the worst doubler in Northants. Maybe the world. So, you know, those people in Northamptonshire who are still in my corner, they'll have a wry smile to themselves after that shot.
You know, it's 6 years since you were in the final against Stuart Bingham, actually, 2015. You haven't been past round 2 since then. What have you found this year, and how have you found it?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of, you know, soul-searching. I've spent a lot of dark days in hotel rooms isolating. It's been very difficult getting off this island with all the pandemic going on and the travel restrictions. And there's been a lot of soul-searching, a lot of hard questions, and a lot of trying to unravel the problem on the table. You know, I've had a lot of solitary practice. I've practiced with a lot of very good players in recent months when I've had a bit of downtime. And Kyron's been one of them, you know, and you know, I've learned so much through playing him. You know, together with Fergal and Ken and Mark Allen and Geordie Brown up there in Northern Ireland, you know, I owe them a great deal because they gave me their time. and have probably sharpened me up a bit.
It's been a crazy old day, Sean. You are the first man through to tomorrow's final. Can you sum up what it is like and what it means to you to be back in a fourth final?
Well, I can tell you, you know, the clueless 22-year-old who breezed in here in 2005 didn't really understand what the whole professional game was about and took the trophy home, was very excited. And as a 38-year-old married father of two, it's still just as exciting.
Well, it's fantastic to see you back and playing the way that we know you can play. Sean, our very best wishes to you for tomorrow's final. Thank you. Thank you. What a treat it's been to see the conclusion of that one. And we now have another treat because we're going to see the conclusion of the other semi-final. They're just warming up. We've had Stuart Bingham and Mark Selby in here, just loosening the arm, getting ready to play a possible 2 more frames in this one. Selby 16-15 up on Stuart Bingham. But what a clearance from Stuart Bingham to stay in this match earlier on. Ken and Jack in the Winter Gardens, I believe that you have spotted a key play that might just benefit Stuart at some point today.
Well, we found a few little observations from the big safety battles and the duels that were going on, and what Stuart Bingham was sort of getting entrapped in with Mark Selby, and we sort of came up with a little solution. Tell us a little bit about it, Jack.
Yeah, so Stuart's quite a flowing player, and he doesn't want to be getting sort of bogged down into long safety games. He's a scorer, so he wants the balls open. So basically, on a safety shot we set up here, you've got 2 options. You can there's like the normal safety shot, which is typically you're trying to hit thin on these reds to keep the pack tight. You're not trying to send. You're trying to keep the balls together.
Yeah, because you don't want to send any balls over the holes or anything like that. So you're going to play that shot. Okay. So we're going to show you just a couple of shots. So he's going to try and play the conventional one just off 2 cushions. Yeah. Now he was hitting this perfect when we were practicing it. This is what's been happening, and this is why a lot of the frames have been prolonged. Okay, by playing this shot, by keeping all the reds pretty tight. Yep. Now, what we feel that Stuart and even Mark Selby could be doing tonight, even in these, I know there's a couple of frames possibly that can still go on, but this is a more aggressive shot where he's going to play it off 4 cushions. Is that right, Jack?
Yeah, off 4 cushions, more side, more power.
Yeah.
And it should just get the reds spread a bit nicer.
Yeah. There you see. So he's bringing more reds into play, open the balls up, and have a much more open frame. And what that does, it puts pressure on the opponent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sort of forces them into. If they now, that's a tough safety shot to apply from. If they hit it bad, you know, there's balls to score to work with.
Yeah, and I'm sure Judd will agree in the studio as well.
I'm sure he will indeed. Well done, guys. Nice spotting, I have to say. I wonder what the opinions of John and Judd are about the last part of this match, because there's been a hiatus. How will the gap affect both men going out there to restart the semi-final, Judd?
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Either player haven't really experienced this in their career, and Stuart's already experienced it once in this tournament. So, even though Mark Selby's in control, it's kind of new territory for both of them, and it is late at night, but you know how strong Mark Selby is over the long distance. He'll be prepared for this.
He was in here before. It's quite funny, actually, because his wife, like you said, go and have a sleep, you'll be all right. And then Sean Murphy went into one. He went, you better get up now. So he had 10 minutes.
Tell you what, looked very relaxed in here earlier on, didn't he?
He always does, though. He's just laid back, isn't he?
OK, now, for those who missed the drama this afternoon, just review what happened out there, because I was explaining about the new COVID rules here clearly meant that the auditorium had to be cleaned before the next audience came in, which meant we had a time imperative on this one. And Mark Selby was so close to crossing the line and going into another final.
And then he got 40, he was 16-14. In front, gets 40 points, plays a safety shot, leaves 1 red out the side, which you think, oh, fair enough. Stuart's hardly potted a ball for ages. All of a sudden rolls this fantastic long red in and then clears up. Absolutely brilliant break with 85. He was never out of position any part of it. It was an absolutely superb break under pressure. And this is why we've got the situation tonight. It's
been a bit of a stop-start match in some respects. We've had wonderful periods of great fluency from both guys and some absolutely grinding frames. In fact, we've had 2 frames which have had 2 re-racks each. It's been a funny old match, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's partly my fault as well. I think I called that. But there's been some tremendous standard at points and some slow play. It's had a bit of everything this game.
And I tell you, the Crucible crowd are absolutely thrilled. We went out there to start the programme. Rob announced to them that they'd be watching both semi-finals. This massive cheer went up. Talk about value for money tonight, guys.
What a bonus they have had, haven't they? That's, you know, probably people who haven't seen snooker live for over a year, and they've come and they're going to get to 2 magnificent semi-finals, so they've had a right day.
There is a possibility that we might have a repeat of the 2015 final. We've got Shaun Murphy through and Stuart Bingham certainly very much in this match here. And there is also another little side track to this, because both Shaun and Stuart can still become the only men to have won the title as both a seed and a qualifier, because Shaun did it obviously as a qualifier in 2005, and fascinatingly, Stuart Bingham, remarkably, a qualifier this time. This is his 6th match. He's in real stroke, isn't he?
Yeah, it's an incredible stat, really, that is, and it just goes to show Bingham did it as well a few years back, and I think it gives him a little bit of confidence getting through that qualifying, and just adds a little bit of confidence that maybe they haven't had before starting in round 1.
I think you make a very good point about Ding. He came right through the qualifying too, made it to that final against Mark Selby, but ran out of steam in the end.
Yeah.
But that doesn't look to be the case with Stuart. He still, despite the fact he was under severe pressure there, he still looked like there was something left in the tank, didn't he?
He's impressed me no end in this match. I knew Stuart was a great player. He's obviously a world champion, but I think his tactical play in this match has been absolutely fantastic. He's matched him in all departments in that respect. He's played some very clever shots. I'm sitting there thinking, what's he going to do here? Come up with brilliant solutions to everything. He's just been in brilliant form since he's turned up. And I think it's the confidence of just qualifying, coming to the Crucible, knowing you've won your qualifying match. And he's been match sharp right from ball 1.
Well, as we know, Mark Selby has won 8 Triple Crown titles in his career. Stuart Bingham, do not forget, this man is 2/3 of the way towards a career Triple Crown. He's won the Masters as well as the world title in 2015. He wants to be considered one of the all-time greats, and I suspect that a second world title would cement that in his reputation. But they're ready to go for part 5 of this semi-final, and so too is Rob Walker. Here we go again.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Crucible history's 2 semi-finals finish in the same session. Please welcome your players back into the arena, Stuart Bingham and Mark Selby.
Here we go again. So, a possible 2 more frames will tell us who will join Shaun Murphy in tomorrow's final. And watching this one, John Virgo, Ken Doherty. Hello again.
Hello, Hazel, and Ken has just galloped from the Winter Gardens and got me in. I'll
Mark
just
Selby to break.
say what a thrill this has been now, and this match, okay, it's been stop and start. Well, it certainly stopped this afternoon when it had to be taken off because he didn't have time to finish the match. And there you go with the match time. It's and there's been 53 minutes of re-racks to be added to that 10 hours and, well, coming up to nearly 50 minutes. And both players will be very, very edgy. I mean, obviously, Stuart's on the brink because Mark Selby only needs the 1 frame, but they've been whiling the hours away, the last 3 hours, roughly it is, since they last was out in the arena. They've had a bit of time on the practice table, but that really won't prepare you for what's here, Ken.
No, not at all. Mark Selby had almost 1 foot in the final, but for that incredible clearance and break from Stuart Bingham. Tried to hide the weight up in the ball cushion behind the green here. Yeah, it's a battle of wills as well, isn't it, John? A battle of everything. Psychological battle. The fatigue, but the adrenaline will definitely keep them going for sure. And you can cut the atmosphere with a knife in the Crucible. Absolutely fantastic. You can hear a pin drop.
Yeah, there's the audience have all stayed in the seats for this one. This is a bonus for people who are here this evening. Magnificent setup, the Crucible Theatre. And the atmosphere just raises the tension up 2 or 3 notches. So we're giving this plenty of thought. I'm not quite certain how much he can hit of this red. If he's trying to lay the cue ball near the top cushion, he's got to be very careful. No, just felt he could push it past the pink. And I assume the time he took over it, he wasn't going to leave anything for Mark Selby.
Well, Marcus eyeing up possible 3-ball plant. There's 2 lines, 2 reds in a line. And that's one that he has to make. It'll be speculative. And of course there'll be the element of safety as well. But this could go close, you know. It could go very close. And how about the cue ball? Is he going to get a kiss on the yellow? He certainly is. What a shot he's picked out there.
Yeah. Well, I think the red that Stuart played, that's all he could do. And there was quite a gap between those 2 reds, so it was a good shot from Mark. Sometimes you just can't play a good safety. It's okay, it was a bit pacey, but got a nice kiss. Now Stuart will be sat there thinking, do I get another shot?
That's all he'd be hoping for. But it is a nice opener for Mark Selby. A few reds in the open. What do you want to do here, Jones? Just get your arm going, put a few balls, try and get a little lead, get up to speed. Keep the cue ball in good close control.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any thoughts of trying to bring reds into play at the moment. Just concentrate on the open ones. Yeah, played that nicely.
9.
You couldn't have played that any better. Lovely and straight. You can pot this red.
You can please be quiet with your bottles, please, when the players are down on the shots.
A bit of noise in the arena. Yeah, lovely and straight. And push through for the black into the opposite corner pocket.
10.
But hasn't played that one too well. Needed to be lower with the cue ball on the black. It doesn't have a great angle. There you see it.
He's had a look to see if the end red of the cluster will go into the same pocket as the black. Well, it obviously doesn't. So he played for that red. Knew he was going to be low on the red because he couldn't get straight
17.
on it. The points in this match. 1662 Mark Selby, 1658 Stuart Bingham. That's how close it's been.
$18.
It's all right. He's just lost the cue ball slightly. That's the problem when you pot a red in and run into other ones.
Yeah, nice recovery. Okay. He's going to be bridging over the bunch of reds.
25.
He's over 6 foot tall. He's tall enough to, shouldn't be a problem. May need a little extension on the end of his cue.
Yeah, it's quite a long bridge, and he's having to raise the bridge hand to get the height to get over the red that's closest to the cue ball. Well
26.
played. I mean, obviously it was helped by the fact he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball. But all things cross your mind. Don't want to miss cue. Anyway, he's on the black, and nicely on it. But this, the last of the open reds, needs an angle now on a
33.
colour to bring other reds into play.
$34.
Unless there's something in the cluster I can't see. That's not the best angle really on the black, although he's down quickly to play the next shot. No, it didn't look the best angle to me. As I say, I was surprised he got down so quickly.
41.
And I can't believe there'd be a plant there because I'd have noticed it before.
Mark Selby, 41.
Yeah, nice 41 break. And that's what he had in the previous frame, the 40 break.
And what he did there, he didn't want to open the cluster of reds. That's why he played the red that was near the right-hand side cushion. But what he has done, because he's not got a very good cue ball, he's left Stuart with his hand on the table, and he'll be playing these reds and bringing them into play. But he needs, there's no plant there. He needs to get a good cue ball here. He's got to find that baulk cushion. Oh, there's a red going over the corner. One over the... Oh, he's flipped one! Well, I can't see that that was played. No hand up to apologise, so... I'd like to see it again. I'd like to see it again. Where did the red come from that went in the pocket? Here we go. Well, no way in the world you could have envisaged that happening. And Mark Selby, although he's got a 40-point lead, the majority, in fact practically all of these reds, are in possible positions. Can he find a path, you would think, to the red that's closest to the top cushion? But being so close to the brown, it's not a one-cushion escape.
Oh, it's going to be very difficult to get to that red, John, as the ones you mentioned directly behind the black on the top cushion. May have to come off 3, possibly 4 cushions to try and nestle on that. The angle would be go off the ball cushion and around by the green. Well, he's going to go the other way, is he? Yeah, that's the angle. Just come across the baulk line, miss the blue, down the left-hand side, and try and nestle on this red behind the black. This could be 4, this could be even 5 cushions maybe before it hits the red. It's coming a bit square, is it? Is it coming a bit square? It is. He's left the red.
Oh, and a miss. Stuart Bingham.
Now, will Stuart take this on? I think he will. It won't be going back. It's a shot you would feel he has to take on. And he's got to fully commit.
Played it, and and not surprisingly, a little bit tentatively. He just needed a fraction more pace to be absolutely perfect on this black, but I don't blame him for making certain of the red. Just got to play a delicate little stun shot here. There's two reds in line that will go, one of them will go to the left corner. Played it and held it beautifully. So the chance is there.
8. Nine.
It's all about good cue ball control. All these reds are in a potable position. When you pot one, you clear a path for another. No need for any cannons.
16.
Yeah, just a little short with the cue ball there, and I wanted to be straighter, so it would be straightforward the hole for the black. Yeah, he's gone up. Got to get top side of the blue here, and
17.
he has done. Judged that nicely.
You feel it better stunning down the left-hand side of the table here, and that red, the one immediately above the black, well, he's decided there must be another red just below that little cluster, but, well, the way he's played it and the way he looks, Ken, do you think he played for this one near the side cushion here to the right corner?
I think he's played for the one. The second one below the pink, John, is available into this, but he's let the cue ball go there. That's the red he was trying to get on.
Gotcha.
It's just a little bit of tension in the arm. Sometimes you either under-hit the ball or you slightly over-hit. That's just adrenaline tension. I was with you. I thought he was going to come down the left-hand side of the table and take that red just directly above the black.
Well, how bad he's played it is he's looking at the red to the right corner, the one near the right-hand side cushion, but that's too difficult, surely.
He's going to be careful of the pink. It's going to go close to this left centre pocket here. The pink's going to go close. The pink is going to go close.
23.
Well, it couldn't have got any closer. Another roll, it drops.
Well, you can take the pink or you can take the black. The black is obviously a little bit more difficult. You'd have to play it with the rest. The pink is a certainty, but not a certainty for position.
Well, now this is it. When that cue ball's travelling up and down the table, it's hard to judge. Hard to judge. Needs a cannon. Needs something to stop the cue ball. He got it. He got it.
29.
A little wry smile from Mark Selby.
$30.
The only slightly awkward red, what you would say, is the one that's close to this bottom right corner pocket, but once he gets behind that, it should be okay. He's got a bit. He'll work on the two loose reds first.
37.
1 point in front.
$38.
May have the angle now on the black, I mean straight, to play for this red now. Near the side cushion. The only thing that can go wrong with this shot is if you leave it too straight. Well, he's got an angle on it to play for it now. He's going to have to play it sometime. Didn't want to risk it. Now desperate that he gets a good angle on the next colour.
45.
Yeah, he could play for pink here, pink or blue. Well, he's
46.
gone back for the black. Has he got the nice angle? I'm not quite sure he has, John.
Just pulled his face slightly. He had a better angle last time.
Yeah, that's why I thought he might play for pink or blue there to be almost guaranteed to be top side of the blue, or a nice angle on the pink to drop behind this red. He's got a bit of work to do with the cue ball here.
Yeah, but make certain you don't miss the black. He's done very well. He's done very well. And now a brave shot required. He's just
53.
got to drop this red in dead weight. Give it every chance to drop, but also in the back of your mind that knowledge that if it doesn't go in, your World Championship is over. Well, he played
54.
it with pace. He didn't fully commit. Listen, in these circumstances, you can't blame any player for wanting to think of the easiest way out. He thought, if I play it firm and it doesn't go in, I might cover it. Anyway, he's in
Bingham,
control
54.
of the table. But will he get a better chance than that? We'll see.
Yeah, and he's got him in a tough snooker here. He's blocked the path to the right side cushion. He's blocked the path on the left side cushion to hit the yellow off one cushion, so it's got to be off two cushions, which makes this escape so much more difficult. So he's got to go top cushion just before the middle pocket on the left and try and hit this yellow, but also try and get it safe.
Great hit. Oh, he's put his hand up to apologise. He's got the snooker.
What a hit, John.
Oh,
Under
tremendous.
this extreme pressure. What an escape that was.
Yeah, a great escape. I thought for 1 minute he was going to cut the yellow in, but the kiss on the green has left Stewart snookered by the brown. That run of the ball, it does even out. When you get it, take full advantage. And there you see the problem that Stewart's got. Now you'd think, well, he could just come off the baulk cushion, just nestle onto the yellow. No chance of leaving it, but you're handing the initiative to your opponent. Does he play it with pace? Kick it down the table. Tap on the table from Mark Selby, but I don't think that'll stop him from playing the pot on this yellow.
No, well, it's a free shot as well, isn't it, John? He can play this with every bit of confidence that even if he misses it, the likelihood is that he'll be pretty safe. But if he gets it, it could be on the green. No. Yeah, that was always the possibility. And he's got a good snooker.
Well, I'm right down the line, Ken, and I think it was just an edge. Well, I thought it was just an edge. Maybe not. Yeah, you're right, good snooker. And it's the age-old problem. It's not hitting it. Can you get it safe? Can you get it safe? Has not got it safe, but this is a tough shot. pot the yellow position on green is no certainty. And remember, Mark Selby needs the 6 remaining colours for a place in the final.
Yeah, he's got to play this with a lot of pace as well, which is into these middle pockets is very difficult. You've got to be so accurate and so precise. You'd be playing this off 3 cushions. Any sort of shot on the green would do. Now, how's the pace? How's the pace of the cue ball?
2.
Not ideal, but he has a shot at it.
Stuart once again in his seat, wondering, will he get back to the table? If this green goes in and position on the brown, you'd think not.
Yeah, the difficulty with this is it's to a blind pocket. He's got to check it off. Side cushion, top cushion. He's going to be using bottom of the ball, left hand side.
Max Selby 2.
Surely he's not got the cover again, has he? Surely he's not got the cover. He must have. He must have. Obviously pot on, but to get back for the brown, he'd have to cue this so well.
I don't think he's going to play the pot. I think he'll try and get the cue ball behind the black here. Green up and down the table. Pink maybe come to his rescue as well. A big target there.
But I don't think it'd have been a snooker but for the bump on the middle pocket there. Just brought the green away from the cushion. So once again, Stuart's got to hit it, get it safe. Hit it, get it safe. Is it going to run past the middle? It does, he's got it safe. And I'd like to think he deserved that. Mark has had a couple of little runs there when he covered the yellow, when he covered the green.
Well, he's played this well. Right into the middle of the ball cushion. Yeah, played it very well. And you can't beat a frame like this, John. For all the century breaks that we've had, these frames are, you just can't beat them.
Now Stuart's hoping the blue is going to cover the potting angle. I think it has. Has he got the complete snooker? Not quite. But he's covering enough of it. This is no easy safety shot for Mark, and if he plays thin off the green, the bit he can see, could well knock it towards the right corner. And if he hits it too thick, could well go in off. Tough shot, this.
That's just tremendous.
You won't see any better safety shots than that. Superb.
He's got to be careful here. He go the conventional up and down. He may have to put this just past the middle pocket or on the side cushion. Yeah, just rested on the side cushion. He's got to give up his advantage. Couldn't do much with that except try and get it safe. Wait for a better chance.
Yeah, and when you consider that if Mark Selby pots the green, more than likely will win the match. Stewart was concentrating wholeheartedly on not leaving the pot on. He's done that, but as Ken said, will he be in trouble next time he comes to the table? With a master tactician like Mark Selby, every likelihood.
I think the shot may be to just try and nestle the green onto this right side cushion, put the cue ball up towards the green pocket and try and get the two balls in a line. Yeah, that's the shot. And try and line them up and make it very difficult for the up and down. And that's pretty good. You see what happens here is the possible double kisses on. And that's exactly what Mark Selby wanted to put in Stewart's way. This is difficult.
And made more so that the cue ball's tight to the baulk cushion. Got to avoid the double kiss. Oh, just did. And all in all, even though it's not completely safe, Stewart got himself out of a little corner there. I can't see Mark rolling the screen in dead weight to get position on the brown. So will he take the pot on?
Oh, this looks a very good line once again. Pink and blue coming as the blocking ball. Ooh. And this is not straightforward. Can't come off the left-hand side cushion. Just before the middle. If he comes off the right-hand side, the brown looks like he's in his way.
Yeah, the brown's a bit of a blocker, isn't it?
May have to come off two cushions here. Possibly three to hit this green. Go twice across.
Yeah, that's the line. But from where Stewart is, you just feel that that brown's going to be in the way. So you're right, Ken. Two cushions. Trying to nestle up to the green. Doesn't want to run past it. If he runs past it, he leaves it on.
It's a bit short, isn't it?
He'll be well pleased he's short, because if that had another couple of rolls, he'd have left the green on. Now he can make a minor adjustment.
Yeah,
got the pace, but not the line.
No. It was sort of a good guide, that first one, wasn't it? And as you said, he's just got to make a slight adjustment.
Coming up. Back.
He's going to play the same shot, but now he's got to make sure if he misses the green, it's got to be on the left-hand side as opposed to the right-hand side here. You see, he's missed it this time on the left-hand side.
Foul and a miss.
But once again, he's got a decent line to work with, so make a slight adjustment this time.
There you see him now, just 8 points ahead.
Yep.
Good choice from Mark Selby not to take the pot on, to play the safety come snooker. This looks better, but is it hard enough? Will it reach?
Foul and miss. Mark Selby 4.
And these points now are adding up. Just 4 points ahead now. Makes such a difference as to how many balls Mark Selby has to pot to to book a place in the final. 4th attempt, needs to hit it this time and get it safe. Doesn't reach again. Does it?
Foul and a miss. Max Selby.
Wow.
But the one thing Kenny's got to guard against when he's putting that extra bit of pace in, could come off the cushion slightly different, but the last thing is to roll past the green and leave it on into the corner pocket.
He won't mind, okay, be disappointed giving the points away, but he doesn't want to leave his opponent a shot on the green. That's most important. Oh, I think he's gone past the green this time. It's gone wide. He's going to leave Mark Selby a shot this time.
Max Selby.
That's what he didn't want. That's the worst possible outcome for Stuart Bingham, and he knows it. He can't look.
Three.
Well, as I said, the master tactician, Mark Selby, he played a couple of safety shots there that Stuart couldn't cope with, and now he's doing it the big I am, and you've still got a couple of balls to pot. Yeah, great victory. He's done really well when he lost the first 5 of the second session last night.
18, and the Max Selby.
Yeah, many congratulations. It'll be a great final. No one's cued better than Mark Selby throughout this tournament. I'm not sure about a celebration before you put game ball, but anyway, well done, Stuart Bingham. You've made it into a great match, and I'm certain we're in for a great final. Mark Selby, you can't get rid of him easy, and he wins 17-15.
You certainly can't, John. And Mark Selby into a 5th world final. And significantly, every time he's won a semi-final, 17-15, he's gone on to win the title. Fascinating. But what a way to win it, tying Stuart up in knots there on the green.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing. Some people were, it's sort of like misrule this week and everything, but he just couldn't quite get it right. And with every chance I was saying to Judy, I said, I can't see him not leaving him a pot here of some nature. And eventually made the mistake and slipped past it the other way. But it's a phenomenal performance from someone who just refuses to go away. I mean, there was times in there when he was outplayed, times where the sessions, he thought the balls weren't running for him, but he just refuses to lose.
And for a time, we thought in that last frame there that Stuart Bingham was going to manufacture another magical clearance in order to force a decider, but it was just too much for him to do in the end.
Yeah, Stuart did have a chance. He ran out of position on that last black, but Mark Selby's just so clever. There's a lot of players that would have taken on that green and maybe missed it and left Stuart an easy chance, but he didn't leave anything up to chance. He stuck him in a really tough snooker, and Stuart just ended up leaving him on.
How much do you think it means to him? You could see the emotion coming out of him at the end there, Jim.
I think there's unfinished business from last year. I think he was very sore after losing the semi-finals to Ronnie. He thinks he got burgled near the end of that. I spoke to him afterwards, and he was pretty upset about it. It hurt him. He was texting me and all sorts of things, watching the final. I think he's had business here to put right.
Well, I know it's going to hurt Stuart Bingham. Let's hear his thoughts tonight with Rob Walker.
Stuart, it was gruelling to watch, so it must have been gruelling to play in.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously tough to lose a close game like that, but obviously fair play to Mark. He deserved the win. He come out today, obviously firing, and obviously I had one of those days today. I sort of said through the tournament that I always seem to have a lot of bad day, and today was that.
Is it hard to maintain your rhythm when the play goes so slowly as it did yesterday in patches?
Yeah, you got to sort of question that, innit? Sort of, funny enough, it's the same sort of player, time in, time out. Does he do it on purpose or what? But sort of obviously I want to do a free-flowing game, but some of the sort of frames, it sort of a ball went over the hole, and we obviously weren't going to give each other sort of the chance. But so you got to question it sometimes.
Do you feel that there was an element of gamesmanship, perhaps, or is it just that it went stodgy and he's got that kind of mental determination that however long the frame lasts, he's going to stick with it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Everyone knows. Say there's one shot. He took 3 minutes, and then just rolled into the balls. And it is close to gamesmanship. So, but as I say, sort of some of the other times the ball went over the pocket, and obviously we weren't giving each other an inch.
Well, Stuart, it was a huge run coming through the qualifiers, back in the single table setup. Some good memories to take from this overall. Thanks for talking to us. See you next season.
Cheers, Rob.
Cheers, Stuart.
And the man who came here as a qualifier will be jumping straight back into the top 16, and it's been great to see that run from Stuart Bingham, the 2015 champion here. But Mark Selby into a 5th World Final, and we could just see, John and I talking about it, how much it meant to you. A lot of emotion coming out of you there. Just sum up what it does mean for you to be back once again.
Yeah, just everything, you know. I mean, the last year's been tough. Say the last year for everyone's been tough. But working with Chris Emery, I've seen the improvements from last year's World Championships all the way through to now. So it's just all the hard work's paying off, you know, and it's more relief than anything else to get over the line there.
In the end, you had to turn this match around because Stuart came out absolutely firing last night, and it was the first session, actually, that you'd lost all championship. How tough did he make it for you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic player. I mean, as you say, he comes here as a qualifier, but he's definitely top 16, if not top 8 player. I mean, he scores as well as anybody I've ever played against. And I thought all the way through the match, overall, he probably played better than me, but I felt as though I was just digging in and fighting against the run of the ball here and there. I think overall, the match, he probably had a little bit more run of the ball than me, and towards the end, it sort of turned back my way, fortunately.
Now, I know last year's defeat with Ronnie, that hurt you quite a bit, didn't you? Because you played really good in that match and you sort of got burgled near the end of it, you thought, didn't you? So, got a chance to put it right this year?
Yeah, I have, but I was sort of having flashbacks out there with that happening again. 16-14 up and looking like winning the match, and Stu's made a phenomenal clearance under the circumstances. Then even now I've got 40 in front, and then it looks like he's going to clear up again. I'm thinking, here we go again. But trust me, I didn't want a decider.
Now, we just heard Stuart there saying that it was a very long session today, and actually commenting about some of the time that was taken by you over your shots. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, it was only 1 or 2 shots. I had a shot where I was sort of, I'd brain freeze yesterday afternoon when I played a red. But, I mean, you look there, the average shot time, we're both on the same, 28 seconds a shot. So you can't really call me out for obviously being too slow when he's at the same shot time. OK, 4 years since that 3rd world title mark. Were there a few doubts between then and now and getting back in this final? Before coming here to the World Championship last year, then yes. 18 months prior to that, there was quite a few doubts. I was sort of questioning myself, thinking, do I need to change things to try and get back to sort of winning ways? And yeah, I did need to change things. And it was getting Chris Emery on board. I mean, he's been an absolute godsend and sort of got me thinking positive again and just getting me thinking different about the game and just believing in myself. In what ways? I mean, we've talked about playing more instinctively, more intuitively. Is that how he's gone about the changes? Yeah, with you? A little bit. I mean, I do that in practice, but then when I'm out there, I'll sort of play as if it's life and death and just sort of take too long over certain shots. And to be fair, towards the back end of that match, I started trying to just get on with it. From 14-all to 16-14, I just got on with it.
I think the other thing as well is just having a pair of eyes there, somebody to stop you tinkering. I mean, it's very easy on your own to start changing things around, thinking, is this right? You have a bad result? And, you know, is this OK? And it's just someone to say, look, you are a great player. You cue like this. Just go and play. Yeah, that's true. Because, I mean, a lot of my friends are saying that back home. But when you keep losing and you're not putting good performances in, you still keep questioning yourself no matter what. Even though when you take a step back, you think to yourself, yeah, you probably have just got to plod on and play through it, but it's not easy when you're out there. I tell you what, it's been the most bizarre day, especially for you out there. You make the 1-3-2. You must have known you were on the clock. Were you aware that they were only going to play one more frame? Yeah, at the interval, I think it was about 5-5, so I knew that this week they've been pulling people off probably with an hour to spare for the changeover with COVID and stuff. So I thought, unless I sort of win 3 frames in a row, or Stuart wins 3 frames in a row, I sort of knew that we was going to get pulled off. When it was 16-14, I kept looking at the ref or Martin Clark, expecting him to pop from behind the curtain and tell us to stop, but we managed to get another frame in. OK, and you're over the line now, and it's Shaun Murphy, your old pal. And you've played some great matches against him in the past. You've had a UK final. You had a world semi-final that went the absolute distance, 17-16, wasn't it, way back in 2007? Yeah, I think that was the first time I got there. I was 16-14 down, I think, and won the last 3 frames. Yeah. And, yeah, fantastic game there. And he sort of done me a favour tonight winning that quick. I was expecting to be strolling out there at 11:30 midnight, but
I watched his last session. He's played fantastic.
And good luck for Chris Henry tomorrow. He's got the pair of you.
It's true. Yeah, you'll be dashing between both
Whoever pays
dressing
him the
rooms.
most money, he's going to get him in the dressing room, I think.
Well, you've done it. You're in the final again. It's been a long time, 4-year wait, Mark, but great to see you there. And we cannot wait for the start of this final with Shaun Murphy tomorrow. 1 o'clock start for you, 1 o'clock start for us. It's the magician, Shaun Murphy, who's rediscovered his magic touch, and Mark Selby, who's never really lost his incredible will to win. Catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.